when you're in the role of senator or you're in DC, what takes you back to being grounded, remembering where you came from?
I think the entire concept of life and how life is and how short it is and how it's all a gift from God, And so when when I was 26 years old, my best friend, Dr. Robert Blanche, got killed in a car crash. And so what I did is I took probably the worst thing that could happen to me at that moment in my life. And it was probably for 40 years of my life, the worst thing, because he was my best friend since we were two. I took the worst thing in life and I made it my strongest thing in life. And I try to do that with all the different things that entail who I am. So I replayed a lot of the times that I spent with Robbie, and it made me strong and it made me utilize my time. I think time is the most precious commodity that any human being can have. It's more valuable than gold or anything that exists. You can't create it. It keeps moving and it'll never stop. And until you find a way to respect time, you're never going to be enlightened. That just won't happen. And so the death of Robbie really instilled that in me. And then, as time goes by, you lose more friends and family members, lose your mom, things like that. So, I mean, I'm very, very thankful and very blessed to be in the position I am. I was on a school board, Ohio Senate. I was chairman of government, and now I'm a congressman, of the Ohio 6. Very flattered and honored to be there. But in the great scheme of things, life's much more important. So it's not hard to be grounded when you know that any given second God can pull you from this game, and that's where my point of focus is.
All right, so Michael, you've had the longest campaign season of anybody that I've ever seen, with a special election going into a regular general and probably another one right after that. So how are you keeping up with the intensity of campaigning?
Well, it's so funny because with every campaign that goes by, your skin gets that much thicker. So for me, when I ran against John Cherry, who I've become friends with now because he's really involved in the Pilots Association. So there's a lot of rules and regulations. We just dropped a bill with the chair of transportation. It's a real safety bill where we're demanding that you have 2 engineers on every train and that we're going to implement that into planes too. So I got a chance to work with John Cherry on that legislation. Life's short. If you can have someone that was your opponent become a friend, let's do that. And then the Bob Hagan race was pretty brutal. And that really opened up my eyes to see how nasty this political world could be, which is sort of sad because, when you have rough elections like that, you have a lot of good people that don't want to throw their hat in because, you're targeted. And then my primary was brutal, and it was a double primary. And then I had my regular election. Now I have another one. So I got four elections in 1 year.
Yeah. So now the state houses are probably a little bit friendlier and easier to get stuff done because you had a lot of more cooperation.
Oh, yeah.
Federal's probably.
On the way out, the governor signed 2 more bills of mine. So I think I have like 7 or 8 bills that are actually, signed into law in the state of Ohio. There's a lot of good stuff I want to do. And as far as being a congressman, the number one point of focus I have right now is the farm bill, which isn't really a farm bill. For people that really want to dive into the weeds with that, you have a $1.3 trillion bill that hasn't been passed since 2017. And if we get all 3 branches of government from my party, we're going to try to push it through during lame duck. But the problem I have with this is when you go into it, only about 25 to 30% of even deals with farms. It deals with every kind of other issue you can imagine. So I have a problem with that. So we're trying to dig in to the details, how to get more focus back onto farming and perhaps do some amendments to pull some of that money back and send it over to the farmers.
Now, you had really good support here tonight. A lot of people showed up for this event. Are you carrying that momentum with the 6th district, helping Bernie get elected? Because razor thin margins where you're headed here.
No doubt. And I think the one thing that a lot of people have to understand, though, in order for Bernie to win, Bernie's going to have to carry Mahoning, Columbiana, and Trumbull County. So the trifecta, which are my people, they're good people. Just going to stump speech for a second here. The people of the Valley, that's what we're going to call it. The 3, maybe 4 counties in the Valley, we've been lied to our whole lives. We had Democrats come around for 100 years and promise us the world. I was old enough to remember Bill Clinton up at the mall promised that call center. They lied about that. And then the Republicans of the 80s would just do bad things and neocons, which I'm not a fan of. I don't think it's cool that you got the blue collar, movement of America, which built us, and you send it overseas and you celebrate them. I'm not that kind of Republican. I'm more of a populist because I believe in the people. I believe in the working man. That's all I really care about. If you're a working man or woman, I'm your guy. That's all. I mean, it's the only thing I care about because they're forgotten. Okay. We have the Democrats that just want to keep everyone on welfare. And we have the old neocons that think it's cool to have such open everything that we can send all our factories overseas. We're not going to do that anymore. In fact, a lot of times people say, how do the trade unions support me so much? Because we both agree on shutting down the borders. We want to protect Americans where they are right now, protect our jobs.